Hey, what's up, everybody? I know that you're watching somewhere, and I hope that you are having a good day. Now, I know for many people, the reality is that there are moments where it doesn't feel like things are going right, things are going perfect, and I want to give you something that's going to assist you today. It's going to be my story. I'm Dr. Julian Johnson, and welcome to Journey with Joy. Yes, this is a Journey with Joy. It's a new phase of what we'll be doing, new opportunities of how we'll be connecting with each other. But I look forward to talking with you today. But today, I think that it'd be really cool to understand what really gives me joy. Now, so often people really want to know the secret to like why you are doing something, what's going on, and the whole purpose of this program, the whole purpose of this time of connection is to help people to find purpose, help you to fuel your faith, and then finally to choose joy. There's so many people who really don't have joy in their life, joy in their heart, and they really kind of are upset about how life is happening to them, for them, and sometimes they even feel like what life is going on in what's going on in their own life. And I want to tell you today that there are so many opportunities, so many good things that are happening, but sometimes you really don't know why. Like, what's the secret behind this? What's the secret behind the joy that you have? But today I want to tell you the secret to the reason why I still have joy. And I think that so often, you kind of see somebody, you may not understand like why they're so happy. They could be in church and you'd be like, why are they shouting so much? Or why are they crying so much? Or why are they always involved? And part of the reason why is that that's the place where some people actually get their joy. Now, I want to tell you that I am on a crusade to assist people to have more joy in their life and more joy in their life experience. And I think so often people, man, they kind of look for joy in all kind of choices that they make in life, but don't really know and don't really understand that it's right there in front of them. And you can still have all the things, but still not have what you really need. And that is purpose, that is joy, that is happiness. And today I want to tell you that I found my joy. Now, from time to time, there are things that happen in life, and these things that happen in life can come to you as a crossroads. They can come as a challenge, but also they can come to you as a resource and an opportunity for you to think about what you can do to help your life to be more meaningful. Now, I think that there's so many people really wonder how in the world you make it. And I want to tell you today that joy is not only a destination, but joy is a way of life. And I want you to know that some people can lose their joy as a result of relationship status or work status or health status. But I want to tell you today that you can have joy and it doesn't have to go away. Today, I want to talk to you about the fact that I still have joy. Listen, this program, this resource, this podcast, this experience is dedicated to helping you find your purpose, fuel your faith, and to choose joy. And so often people really kind of push this stuff off to the side when it's really right there in front of them. And I want you today to access the resource that's in front of you. So I want to let you know that I'm committed to helping you rediscover where that joy is possible, not someday, but today. And there are so many people who I've talked to from coast to coast around the country who have said, Julian, I really want something spiritual, but I don't want the foolishness of the institution. I don't want the institution of religiosity, but I want something that's going to help me. Now, before anybody comes at me, I am all for church. And I do believe that as a Christian, I think you ought to be in a place that's going to help you to grow. But there are moments in time and moments in life where that may not always be the most helpful resource to you. And there are some people who have not gone back to church, refuse to go back in because of some hurt, some pain, some problem, some agony. And I want to let you know today that God still loves you just where you are. There's some choices that have been made, some secret you may be keeping that's preventing you from going back to church. I get that. Well, until you find the right spot, please make sure to join this Journey with Joy community. And I'm not against, again, I am all for 100% people participating in the faith community and the community that works best for their own experience. But I will say this, that this is dedicated to helping you to find your purpose, to fuel your faith, and to choose joy. Just up until last week, somebody talked to me and said, hey, man, we would really love to have something that assists us that might not be connected to any one thing, but it helps to give me some recharge in the middle of my day. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to share this broadcast. Also subscribe to it. And if you're watching the rebroadcast, subscribe to it. Thank you so much for being a part of this experience. And we're going to have some more. But I want to share with you my story and why it makes a difference to understand somebody's story. So I grew up in a home, a very Christian home, a father, pastor, man. I mean, this guy, my dad, awesome guy. He's a great man, hardworking, hardest working man. He put James Brown to shame. The man still works very hard every day. And I really learned about what it was like to be really nurturing, really growing from my mom. She really tried to nurture our home. She was a stay-at-home mom in the 70s and 80s when it was, that was a thing. The feminism was on the rise, but she said, I'm going to take care of my kids. So I grew up with my mom staying at home. I was very blessed to have my parents. They're still alive, been married 50-something years, celebrating the anniversary very soon. But I want to let you know that in the midst of my own religious experience, there are moments where I felt deep pain, deep remorse, and deep regret. There are moments where I couldn't pray and I didn't think that prayer actually worked. I became a pastor and did not believe in prayer. And I want to let you know today that there's some people, go ahead, judge me if you want to, but this is a non-judgmental environment and I've got to share my story with you. I was at a meeting with a convocation of other leaders and something finally clicked where God said, I love you, I appreciate you, and you are approved. One of my favorite people in the world, Michael Hayes, preached a sermon about how Christ was approved before he got baptized. It was the first time that I had ever thought being approved by God was something that I didn't have to earn or work for. And there is something about you that you don't have to earn or work for. Some people may be still fighting for their parents' approval, still fighting for your spouse's approval. But I want to let you know that God has a blessing for you that's just for you. And in understanding this reality, it led me to a series of things where I went to therapy. Yes, I went to therapy. Yes, I read the Bible, but yes, I went to therapy. And I want to tell you, not only did I go to therapy, but I started a process where I had to look internally for about a year and a half. I looked at myself internally and said, who am I? What do I like to do? I realized that was critical. I realized that I was judgmental of others. And I realized that that was preventing me from living my true identity as a man, as a husband, and as a father, and as a citizen of the world. Let me tell you this much today, that there's more out there for you if you just choose to access it. And access means taking advantage of what's around you, being a good steward of the resources. Yes, we want to be good stewards of the economy. Yes, we want to be good stewards of society around us. Yes, we want to be good stewards of ecology, but you got to be a good steward to yourself. And I wasn't being a good steward to myself. I gotten to the point where I was putting others before me. I remember there was this quote, a phrase that says, Jesus, others than you. And I'll tell you today that there's so often that you put yourself second that you don't even remember who you are. There's so often that some people really try their best, but they can't really find their way. And I'll tell you today that it's time to take advantage of being you. There are moments where I chose to enjoy the works of labor and enjoy myself places, but sometimes I concentrated more on the work than I did and the place of work than I did the joy that I had in my heart. But let me tell you, when life hits you, sometimes life can take those twists and turns, whether it's a medical diagnosis, whether it's a work transition, whether it's a life transition, whether it's a parent transition, whether it's a moving place to place transition. I've experienced all of those. And at moments of my life, I felt like there was nothing that I had left to give. But I want to let you know that I still have joy. And the reason why I still have joy is partially because I have people in my life who love me and care for me. I have a beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful children. But in addition to that, I have people who will reach out to me and text me and encourage me. And I want to let you know today that there's some people out there who may never experience you for who you are at the moment. And there may be others who may be trying to figure out where they find joy. One of my mentors when I was in college, his name was Chaplain T. Marshall Kelly, God rest his soul, was one of the most godly, spiritual, and honest men that I had in my life. And he told me this thing one time. He said, you know what? When you are feeling sad, he said, do something for somebody else. He said, when you you are feeling resentful, he said, help somebody else. Robert Emmons, the great author of The Gratitude Experience and positive psychologist himself, says that when we do something and we express gratitude, the effects of that gratitude stay in our bodies for 30 days, even just writing a letter. So I want to suggest to you that there are moments in my life I did not want to give, I did not want to serve, I did not want to help, and I didn't want to pour into somebody else because I was like, what about me? But then all of a sudden it hit me that now it's my time, gray hair and all, to be able to support others who are journeying, others who are growing, others who are living, others who are trying to just make it through. And I want you to understand that this is no accident, that this is a moment in time that we're in. If you hear me today, hear me very clearly, that this is a moment in time where it has to be about somebody other than you. But this is also a moment in time where you got to claim your own time. Now, those two things sound diametrically opposed, but they're really not. It's time to think about somebody else and support them in some way. You got enough knowledge, you got enough experience, but most of all, you have the heart of helping somebody else. And I don't care where you are today, you might have a broken heart where you giving your all to somebody. You're giving your all to an organization. You're giving all to your community, and it's been stepped on. You've been rebuked, reviled, and all that other stuff. I get it. But I want to let you know that it's time to put that aside and move forward in your life. And I want to let you know that there's something inside of you that the world is waiting to see. There's something inside of you that your family is waiting to see. There's a solution to a problem that everybody has in the world that you have. And if you refuse to give it, then you are refusing to give your gift to the world. Oh my goodness. I met a good man, my main man, Brandon from Toronto. And he told me, he said, Julian, he said, God's given you gifts. It's time for you to make sure you put them out there. My good friend Pierre Quinn said to me, he said, Julian, if you got stuff on your computer that you refuse to give and share with the world, you are telling the world that it's okay, and you're telling the devil that he was right, not that God was right not to give you those gifts. But you would be a bad steward, he said to me, if you leave these things on your computer. So get ready, everybody. We're about to go on a journey together, and this journey is going to be amazing. There's going to be resources, going to be connections, interviews, and broadcasts. But I want to let you know this is no ordinary season. And so we can't do ordinary things the same way. Now, the other side of it is a time for you. Yes, this is your time. This is your time to live. This is your time to breathe. This is your time to grow. And some of you have been pouring so much into other people that you haven't had the opportunity to just take it all in and pour into yourself. But this is the time for you to be able to get that resource, earn that degree, take some time. Listen, this is a reordering time for so many people. But guess what? It's the right time and it's the right season for you. So, all right. So where do I find my joy and my purpose? I'm going to tell you where I find my joy and purpose. And I want to tell you today that there were moments in my life. There were moments in my life where I could care less about any spiritual thing. Are you hearing me? There were moments in my life where I could care less about anything spiritual. I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to have any connection with anybody. I don't even think I was depressed. I was just mad, angry, and said, forget everything and forget everybody. But I want to tell you that I have good friends. And man, you got to have some good friends. People who are going to be in there with you. People who are going to pray for you. People are going to cry with you. People are going to hold your hand. And people that will cheer you on regardless of your life situation. And today is the day for you to begin. Today is the day for you to begin to start a new life, a new reality, and a new moment, and to realize that you really do count and you really do matter. When I got electrified and energized, I realized that during those seasons, while I was still functioning, hear me very clearly, while I was still just in the motion of things, while I was still not necessarily on autopilot, but I was in the doldrums of life where there was no forward momentum, there was no backward momentum. I was not moving from lateral movements, but I was just still. And in that stillness, I'm going to tell you that God can still work in the middle of your moment, in the middle of your season, in the middle of your challenge. He can still work in the middle of stuff, because if it could work for me, then I know it can work for you. So often, man, we want like the sexy, sensual idea of seeing something that's going to happen. But too often we kind of put off to the side the realities of that we are dealing with some foolishness right before us. Today is the day I'm going to tell you to name it, because if you don't name it, it's going to name you. You're going to be named depressed. You're going to be named worried. You're going to be named struggle, as opposed to giving yourself a new name. And that new name is victorious. That new name is encouraged. That new name is encourager. That new name is victory. That new name is empowered. That new name is insightful. That new name is energetic. And give yourself that name. Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. But at the same time, you got to have some reality to let yourself know that it's okay to have a bad day. Well, I have some friends that have helped me and raised to realize not only do I have value, but I'm important to myself, important to other people, important to God. I've been blessed, like I said, with a beautiful family. And for my birthday, my daughter gave me this card. She said, Daddy, I'm proud of you, no matter what anybody else says about you. Said, Daddy, I know you can do it, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm going to tell you, as God would have it, and as God promises in my life, there are moments where I didn't think anything would happen, but God will send people to you. But there are moments in your life, and there have been moments in my life where it has been silent. And I'm like, okay, God, where are you? What in the world is going on? What is happening? And why are you not continuing to speak to me? I've been struggling. I've been trying. I've been hoping. But all of a sudden, there comes this wave of positive energy. So I remember there are moments where I was like, oh man, I can't do it. But guess what? It was not a time where anybody called me for a prayer request. And yeah, it was a simple thing like a prayer request. And this prayer request didn't happen, but I knew that there was something happening in me, something working in me, and something moving in me. And today I want to tell you that despite what happens, you can still access joy, but God is not going to put on you more than you're able to handle in moments where they are so difficult, moments where you don't think you can have anymore. God says, I'm not going to ask you. If you know you're strong, it's no reason to try to pick up stuff when you know you're weak. You can't pray for anybody. You can't do anything for anybody. I couldn't. And so I was not able to do that. I was still speaking, I was still traveling, still writing, but not the same way. But then one day something happened where somebody called me and said, hey, Julian, I need you to pray for me. And all of a sudden, the light went off. I'm back. Then the next thing happened. The next opportunity happened. And I'm going to tell you that some people say, well, these lucrative things happened and all this money started flowing. Well, I'm still waiting for some of that to fall down. But the reality is my joy was filled because I find joy and purpose in adding value to somebody's life every single day. And I want to let you know that there's some people today who really don't know how to find their value or their purpose. And I'll tell you that I discover joy in places where God's love meets real life. And I'm going to tell you that some people, they don't really want anything that's going to be exciting to them. They don't want anything that's going to be positive. Guess what? That's okay too. There's some people who are afraid to access positive resources and afraid to say this, that, or the other. But I want to tell you today that there are ways that I find joy and purpose. So how I find joy and purpose is in the gift of the family and relationships God has given me to shape me. So when I was going through it, I started getting random calls from my cousins. Yo, I've got about 200 cousins. I am not lying. I have 200 cousins that are alive and that I have reached with. And I want to tell you that I started getting calls from my cousin. You good, cuz? Everything all right, cuz? Yes, cuz. And I'll tell you that these moments where you start getting this kind of interaction, this kind of feedback, man, it opens up the door to your life to realize you gonna be all right and you gonna make it. I got friends, two random people that spoke over my life, my marriage, and everything else like that. And they said everything is gonna be just fine. And then I have another man who just consistently calls me all the time, reaching out, sending messages. You're on my mind. And I want to tell you today that God will send people who will validate you when you feel like others have thrown you to the side. I'm about to say that again. God will send people who will validate you when you feel like others have thrown you to the side. And understand this, that God sends resources in your life through people when you think you are at your lowest point. He will open up doors like you could never imagine. And he will share with you ways that you can still be positive, grow, and connected despite it all. My friends, I have joy and I find joy in serving my community locally and globally. I've been blessed to lead mission trips. I've been blessed to go travel around the world. And I am about to go global. I'm telling you, and you're going to help me because I need you to subscribe and share with this with somebody, regardless of where they are. And I just want to give you a positive message today that not only is serving amazing, both locally and globally, but service also energizes you. So a lot of times you burnt out, frustrated, tired, go help somebody. You mad at somebody, go help somebody else. There's some people who have it worse off than you, and some people whose life you wish you could have. But the people whose life you wish you could have would trade anything to walk in your shoes. I've met some of the most rich people in America, and I've met some of the poorest people you'd ever meet. But the poorest people you would ever meet have more joy and smiles than the people who are rich. Rich people always got rich people problems. Poor people got poor people problems. You got your problems. I got mine, but I still find joy. I got to embrace my humanity while responding to God's call to create, imagine, and build. That's God's call on my life, to create, to imagine, and to build. Make no mistake about it. You got a call in your life, but God's call on my life is to create, imagine, and build. So I want you to help me to build this. You may see my wife talk about um, our journey in marriage and stuff like that, and how we use things to be able to support our family and how we support others, how we invite others, encourage, inspire others. And then the other thing is, man, I want to inspire people to live their God-given potential. Too often people are just kind of walking around aimlessly, but I got something for you that's going to help you to live your God-given potential. And if you just realize that God can help you, you can still have access to that. Then I also like to journey with people, companion with others. I've been blessed to kind of go in some of the craziest situations, whether they're hurricanes, whether they're natural disasters in other ways, whether they're moments where they have big tragedies at work or at church. I've been called in from around the country and internationally to help people. I am so blessed, and I want to bless you with the gifts that I've been given. And then finally, by innovating and exploring new ways to reach, connect, and uplift people. Man, I want to reach out. Man, I want to have friends all over the world. Today, I got invited to speak in an environment in a language that's not my own. But believe you me, I'm going to do my best to speak in that language. And understand this, that when God opens the door for you, when you believe that all things wonderful will be working in order in your life, when you believe that God has placed you in this moment, in this life, for this time and season, there's nothing that can stop you from reaching your purpose except yourself. And so often we kind of stop at that because we kind of choose frustration over joy. We kind of choose pain over purpose. And sometimes we might even choose the aspect of understanding that there is no faith and there's nothing out there for me. But today I rebuke that. And I want to encourage you to choose joy. There's something that's out there waiting for you. There's a relationship that you never thought possible that is just waiting for your attention. And I want to tell you today that if you chose joy, if you chose just joy for just a moment, just for a time and for a season, then it would be possible for you to reach places that you never could have gone before. I'm married to a wonderful woman. And the reason why I've said that several times here is because I know that part of the reason why I'm happy is because my wife wants to make sure that I have joy. Oh, what a wonderful thing it is to have somebody who cares enough about you that cares to talk with you. But I'm not saying you got to be married. I'm not saying that to everybody. That might not be your calling. I'm saying live right and do the best you can by everybody you deal with. What I am saying is this, is that there are moments and there are people in your life God has assigned to you, heaven has assigned to you, the universe has assigned to you for you to have some joy. So today I want to let you know that I still have joy. Doesn't matter what I've been through, doesn't matter the challenges I've had, but I want to let you know that you can have access to that joy as well. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast today. And man, what a blessing it is to be able to connect with you. I hope that you choose the opportunity to connect with me via this platform and also others that will be on. Go to the website that's in the description and you'll find more ways for us to connect. I look forward to talking with you again. I look forward to helping you to choose joy. But most of all, I look forward to helping you to realize that today is the best day to make a great decision to be alive. I'm Julian Young.